Hello, how are you doing? I hope you all are doing well. So today in this video I am going to explain you about the RAID architecture. What is RAID architecture? And there are multiple RAID architecture: RAID 0, 1, 5, 6, 10, Z, all these which you can use. Now there are something for your personal use on home lab or personal computer, and there are something for the enterprise grade, enterprise level, where we actually use the RAID. Like if you want to add new hard disk in your, let's say if you have home lab and if you want to add some new hard drives or SSD drives in the in your desktop, and you want to maintain some type of data redundancy if you want, or there are a couple of things which RAID handles, right? So like if you want to reliably store the data, if let's say if you are afraid of storing data into the USB drives, and sometimes we lose that drive because that USB drive have limited lifespan. So what you do, so you can store basically those for long term on the spinning drives, right? So RAID helps there, and I already lost some of the data which was stored in external USB drive. So that's why I have just purchased like two 18 TB drives, and I want to add that into my desktop. So first let me explain what RAID is, right? So RAID is a storage virtualization technology, right? It organizes multiple drives into various arrangements to meet certain goals of redundancy, speed, and capacity. So just note down, this is the goal is the redundancy, speed, and capacity. The goal is not the backup. So you should always have like three type of backup technologies or plan. Like you should store your backups into like at least three places. So I also have the backup rules, like a 3 to 1 rule, right? So three copies of data. So any data, important data which you want to maintain, either your family photos and videos or any business data or anything, right? So you should have a plan to store three copies of the same data at two types of media. One is like, let's say in the hard drive you are storing, so you should always store that on the USB drive or external drive, right? So that two type of media, three copies of data, and one of them should be stored offline. Like let's say not everything should be on the same desktop attached to that or at the same place. Like if there is any fire, theft, or anything happens, so you should not lose all the data. So either you should if you are building the NAS system, so you can store data maybe at your relative or friend's place. Just mirror that data, take the snapshot of data and store at other place, or you should one copy you can store in the cloud also if you want, right? So now the RAID architecture, right? Let me explain that. uh, in there are various combinations of RAID architecture, and let me start with the RAID 0. Now RAID 0 is based on data stripping. So any data which you are planning to store, let's say you have two hard disk and you have attached that into your desktop. Now whatever data you will store, that will be stripped, like it will be cut and distributed across those two disks. Like storing in one disk is slow, but storing in two disks, dividing and storing in two disks is fast, because the hard disk are spinning drive, right? So the heads spin. So if two places simultaneously it is writing, that will be the fast. So write will be the fast. So that is the benefit of this. So if you have two disks, you will get all the two disk capacity. Like if you have like 1010 GB 1010 GB or 1010 TB hard disk, so you will get 20 TB, not like 10 TB complete disk volume you will get. But the drawback is if you lose one of the disk, you will lose all the data, because that same data has been cut and spread across two disks. So if one disk goes down, you will lose all the data. So basically this is not the best architecture to use, although it will give the performance boost, but unless you have some other backup plan along with this, don't go for that. Now RAID 1 is another architecture where data mirroring happens. Like if data is written in one disk, the same mirror will happen in the other disk. So if you lose one disk, you will still have all the data available. Now I'm going to use this for my desktop, because I have two like 18 TB disk. So instead of getting the 36 TB, I will get theoretically I will only get 18 TB, but I need that data redundancy and one type of backup solution also. So that's why I am going to use this. The advantage is data can be recovered in case of disk failure, so all the data can be recovered, and increase performance for the read operation. The read operation will be fast. The disadvantage will be write performance, because it will write the data at the two places. So computer CPU resources are used, and but again, means if you are using in your, let's say, personal cloud, or if you are storing your personal data, lots of humongous data, then you will not read it very frequently, right? So then the slow write performance is okay, because then you will basically read those data whenever is required. But this is a good solution for even for the small business. But again, there are other levels available, so let's go to that. Now in the RAID 4, it is just like a RAID 0, but there are the parity disk. So let's say if you have four disks, so 3 disks will be the data capacity you will ultimately get from the 3 disks, and the 4th disk, the parity information, data parity information will be stored. So this is the parity disk will have the parity block. So instead of going into more detail, the efficient data redundancy in terms of cost per unit memory, but performance boost for the read operation, you will get performance boost, but write operation will be slow, because the data parity information will be slow. So you will practically, in the case of RAID 4, let's say if you have four disks, so you can safely lose one disk. Now RAID 5. The RAID 5 is very similar to RAID 4. Here the parity information is distributed across all the disks. So all the disks have the parity information. So if any one disk you can safely lose, like in the case of RAID 5, one disk you can safely lose, right? So if you have 4 disk combination, one disk you can still safely lose, and you will not lose any data. But minimum disk required for RAID 5 is 3. So like currently I have 2 disks, so I can't go for RAID 5. I will go for RAID 1 only. But if you have, let's say, 4 disks, you can still go for the RAID 5, and you can safely lose one disk, but still no data will be lost. But again, mostly if you are using RAID 5 or RAID 6, you will need a RAID controller. So RAID controller is a physical device. So this will basically be used. If you are using ZFS, probably in that case ZFS type of file virtualization, so you will disk virtualization, you will not need this RAID controller. It will be software control, but mostly in the enterprise level, if you are using, the RAID controller will be used there. So there are more detail about the RAID controller, but let's not get go into that detail, but yeah, RAID 5 is better, where you can safely lose one disk and still all the data will be available. Now here the one so just note down the parity information is distributed across all the disks. And RAID 6 is the double parity blocks to achieve better data redundancy. So if you have very important, highly important data, then you can go for RAID 6. This increases fault tolerance also, like if your system is transactional, so in that case fault tolerance also it can handle. But yeah, these are like more like a enterprise level you are going to use. RAID 10 also is there, which combines RAID 1 and RAID 2. So the data will be stripped across drive also, and then those drive will be mirrored also. So in this case, let's say if you have 4 disks, so one is the data will be stripped and stored in these 2 disks, and then these 2 disks will be mirrored on the another 2 disks also. So this is the advantage. Now let's say go into ZFS. So there is a RAID-Z also available. So RAID-Z and Z1, Z2, Z3, these are also available. So these configuration especially associated with the ZFS designed to offer data redundancy, fault tolerance, and efficient storage management. So in the case of RAID-Z, the software defined RAID system built into the ZFS system, right? It and it has its own advantage, like if you are creating the network file system NFS, your own NFS, your own cloud, and you want to use RAID architecture, there the RAID-Z is better there, because if you will not lose any data. If let's say suddenly your computer shut down or power goes off due to any reason, you will not lose any data in that case. And it has multiple variant, like RAID Z1, Z2, Z3, depending upon fault tolerance. Like let's say RAID Z1, right? So similar to RAID 5 functionality, but designed for the ZFS features, right? Okay, so now I'm going to set up the RAID 1 architecture on my computer. So there are 2 ways to do it, and let me do that. Okay, so one way to do is like you go to the Windows search and just type storage. Now here storage setting you are getting. Now click on that storage setting. This all C drive information will be coming, but now you need to go to the advanced storage setting. At the bottom here you can see, click on the advanced storage setting, and then you need to go into storage space. So what I am going to do, I am going to add my 2 disks in this computer, and the RAID 1 architecture I am going to use, the mirroring, because if whatever data I am going to store, it will be mirrored on both the disk. Now go to storage space and then add a new storage pool. So you can click here and begin that process. The second way to do is like you can go to the control panel. So in the control panel, if you go here, the storage space option is here. Just click on that, and now create a new pool and storage space. So now the pool of this will be like virtual pool of those 2 disks. Like one virtual disk will be shown in the computer. So whenever you are writing anything on that drive, basically internally it will write on the 2 physical disks. So let's create that. Now admin, it is asking for permission. That's okay. Now just wait. So it took some time because the Windows has checked all the hard disk in this computer, whatever is attached, and it will give you the list of hard drive that can be configured for the RAID 1. Now, like I told, there are two unformatted disks here. The 18 TB disk, the usable space is 16 TB. It is showing, and there is one formatted disk also I have, which is SSD basically. So attached as a USB because of the limitations I have, because already there is a SSD attached with my computer. So now let's go to this configuration. So now Windows has found that there are two physical hard drive which is unformatted. So you can select this both, whatever, right? If more than this, if you have, it will you can select which all hard disk you want to select, and then at the bottom you can see the create pool button is there. Now click on the create pool. Now here on the, you can give any name to this storage space, like let's say if I want to give SafeHeaven. Okay, because now this computer, these two drive disk will be the SafeHeaven for all my data, right? And let's say which drive later you want to assign it. So now let's say it is used for cloud, or so I can easily go for, let's say, R. Okay, and the file system, so because now I am using the Windows system, only NTFS is available, but you can later format it with other file type, but here I am using the NTFS. Now resiliency, right? So here it comes to the RAID level, which RAID level you are going to use. Two-way mirror is what I am going to use, which is equivalent to RAID 1. There are three-way mirror, parity disk, all these are options are there. I am going to use two-way mirror. Okay, now the maximum size, so total pool size. So I have, like, total pool means there are two disks of 16 TB, 18 TB, but usable space is 16.3 or 16.4. Now here total pool capacity is 32, available is also 32. Now whatever size I will give, okay, the same amount will be used for resiliency, right? Because the mirroring will happen. So let's say it, and right now it is showing in GB. I will change it to TB, and let's say if I am using 10, so the data with the data including data resiliency, it will use 20, because that if out of 32 TB I am giving a space of 10 TB, then actually it will use up 20 TB. So what I will do, I will use 16.35. so if I am using 16.35 or 36, so I am using the including resiliency all my disk space, right? Here you can give more than this also, you can give 100 also, right? And what will happen, it including resiliency 200 TB it is showing, but as soon as your data capacity will be over, like it will reach 32.7 TB, you can add more hard disk into the computer, and it will extend till 100 or 200 TB. So practically you can do that, but now I am going to create only for 16.3. okay, so almost all the disk space I am going to use, and now create a storage space I will click. Now it is formatting the storage space. Okay, so now it is showing using a storage pool. Now here if you can see, using 3 GB of 32 pool capacity, and so 3 GB only means it is for internal purpose. Now storage space available will be R drive 16.3 TB. Okay, and the physical disk, these are the two physical disks it will be using. So in your computer you will get the R drive, which will represent basically these two drives. Okay, so now let's go to your computer, and okay, just storage pool, just click OK. Okay, so this is done. Now if I go to my computer, so now here you can see the SafeHeaven R is now available, and now it is empty. So anything, if I am writing on this R drive, it will be internally mirrored into these two physical drive. Yeah, so that's all for today. So let's say now if I want to store any file on this R drive, let me open another folder where I have one file name with cloud capitalism. So let me copy this, and let's go here and paste here. So now all the normal operations you can do with this drive, and internally the file will be mirrored in the two physical drives. So yeah, that's all about today. Let me know if you have any question, and please put down your question in the comment below, and please like and subscribe this video. Click on the bell icon, because I will be uploading many videos on cloud computing, creating your own cloud, and Proxmox, creating installing hypervisors, and many other topics. And if you want me to cover any topic, please put in the comment, and I will try to create videos on those topics. If there is no video, but I will definitely answer your questions if you have put anything in the down below. Okay, bye for now.